What's up, guys? So I was just outside walking through my garden. I had no intention of turning the camera on, but I was at my onions and I saw that 3 of my onions were producing seed heads. So I went ahead and pulled them off. Let me show what they look like. They look like this, and I went ahead and popped them off, but I'm going to pull those onions because now that they've went to seed, they won't store as well, and so I'm just going to go ahead and pull them, and we're both going to see what they look like. As I was just speaking, I saw another one forming. So this is another one. This is how it looks forming, but I've already and one more right here. So I'm going to pull the ones that are forming seed heads. This one was the one I pulled. Okay, so we have one. This one's another one. That one barely has an onion. Where's the other one? Oh, right here. Barely has an onion. And then I see one here. Oh, that broke off. Okay, so I went ahead and took all the ones that were forming seeds, and 5 out of 6 of them were this first variety right here, which was Texas Early. I don't see any more that are producing seed heads, but that is what we have. I guess I would say this one is the biggest onion, which, I mean, it's not very big. So, don't know what happened with that. Makes me want to get in here. I don't see much big seed heads in this first, or onion bulbs forming in this first variety. In this second variety, let's see. Yeah, they are starting to form. So, hopefully that indication isn't an indication for the rest of our onions. I do see other ones that have bigger bulbing, so maybe that was just a fluke. But either way, I will take the the green tops off, let that dry out a little bit, and if there's anything to chop up, I'll chop it and freeze it. What's up, guys? So it is a few days later after, or maybe just a couple days later after I filmed the first part of this video showing you the onions that had bolted or gone to seed. So I am back out in the garden. I tried to get out here earlier, a little earlier, before it's supposed to go up to like 87 and feel like 95 in the garden today, or outside today. So I wanted to get out here before it got super hot and just check on everything, water everything. So I planted out some more tomatoes that I'll show you, and I'm going to fertilize them with this fish fertilizer. Let's see. I ended up planting out 2 Ace 55s tomatoes in this bed. Ace 55 is a determinate type plant, so I won't be pruning them, and they're only going to get about 4 feet high, and this gate's 4 feet. And then over in this bed, I planted 2 Grand Marshal tomatoes, and I want to get those fertilized. And then this extra cattle panel that I ended up putting up in this Bachelor Buttons bed, I did end up planting out some tomatoes. That one actually has flowers, and I want to fertilize these tomatoes as well. They were looking, they were yellowing before I put them in the ground, and so they're looking a lot better. They just had outgrown their containers because I didn't up pot them, so I just planted them straight into the ground because I knew that they just needed more space. So I am going to fertilize them with this fish fertilizer and give them just some nutrients and a boost to start growing. So I'm going to be out in the garden just watering everything in. The fruit trees that I planted in these containers are all doing well. They all started leafing out, I think, yeah, except for maybe this Arkansas black or actually nope, I just started to see. Okay, so this was the last one, but every other one has green on them. I just watered in my citrus and banana trees here, and I saw that I now have a bunch of garlic. I mean, not garlic, ginger coming up in this bed. I planted or had my friend's daughters plant ginger in here, and they're all starting to sprout, so that's really good. So I was checking on everything, and I saw that something decapitated the top of my pepper, and it had like 2, 4, 6, it had like 8 peppers. Let me see if I can focus it. It had like 8 peppers on here. That's so sad. Oh, there it is. And they just left it. I do see other peppers are starting to have buds, and I didn't see anything. I checked around, but I didn't see what could have done that, so I have to keep an eye out. That's sad. Another interesting thing I saw is on this, what are these called? Sugar snap pea plants. There are so much aphids on one of them. So there's ladybugs, and or one ladybug, but I did see other ladybugs because these plants are covered in aphids. Those dark spots right there are aphids, but that's not even a bad one. Let me show you a bad one. Like that, all of those dots are green aphids right there. And then there's another one. All of those spiky things are aphids. It's absolutely disgusting. And there's a ladybug. So, ladybugs actually eat aphids. If you've seen those videos where people buy a bunch of ladybugs and then let them loose in their garden, and as long as they have a source of food and water, they will stay. Well, I didn't release any ladybugs. They just came because I guess they knew where the food was at. So I'm not planning on doing anything for those sugar snap peas. I'm going to leave them, and as long as they're not eating my other plants like tomatoes and peppers. I did harvest 3 sugar snap peas while I was up front. It's already starting to get really hot. I'm sweating. I think I've watered in everything. So if I look at the weather, and if it's going to rain once a week, then I don't water my garden. But as far as the raised beds, but if it's not raining at least once a week, like a good amount of rain, then I do come out and water in between. I did see that it was supposed to rain today, but then when I woke up today, it said it might not rain until 8 p.m. tonight, and it might just be a sprinkle. So that's why I'm watering today. What else? I do water my containers every day because they dry out faster, especially the ones like the tier planters and stuff like that. Sometimes the ones sitting in raised beds, they don't dry out as fast because if the raised bed is moist, then it kind of keeps the pots moist. And then also I water every day if I have seeds planted. So anywhere that I planted seeds, I water that every day until they come up because I don't want them to dry. So I think the last thing I have to water is the bean beds where I planted replanted beans and sunflowers, and then I'm going in because I'm already sweating and hot and disgusting. I forgot I bought this container of food scraps out, so we just throw in our eggs and coffee grounds and whatever other food scraps. So right now that's strawberries, and I don't actually compost. in the traditional way where, you know, you mound up stuff and then let it sit for a long time. I actually bury all of my food scraps inside of a bed that doesn't have anything planted, and I let it compost in place. I done that at my other when I had my other garden at my old house, and it worked really well. I never had any problems with anything digging it up or anything like that. So that's what I'll continue to do. Once all my beds are planted, then I'll just continue to feed my food scraps to my worm bin. But right now they have enough food, so I just go between feeding my worm bin, sticking it in the garden and composting in place, or feeding it back to our chickens. Today is actually my husband's birthday, so we're gonna be taking the kids. I'm taking the kids to the store to get him a birthday balloon because they think that's fun, and maybe a slice of cheesecake because that's his favorite. But before we go, we're gonna check on the meat chickens and the egg layer, see if there's any eggs. So these need water, Naya. And then let's go. Hey, sit it back up straight. You can't sit that up there, it's gonna fall off. Just scrunch it. Yeah. No, with your feet because you broke it. Step on it. Okay. Is there any more eggs? So, our ducks have gotten huge. And they make a watery mess. And then let's check. They need water. Yeah. So these are 26. They'll be our future egg layers. And they need water. Okay, so this is where I'm going to end this video so that we can head to the store after the kids finish giving the animals some water. So, thank you guys for hanging out with me, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.